Hello and welcome to another edition of Speak Up Portland. I'm your host, Rocco Giannetta, and today we're at the protest in the Great Northwest, which begs the question, what the hell is going on here?
I think there are so many people out of work, out of hope, out of luck. You know, they're trying to tell the government and the Republicans and the Tea Partiers that those aren't the answers. The answers are we need Franklin Roosevelt, and Obama's trying his darndest. And I'm willing to pay more. I'm willing to pay more if it'll put people to work.
But what does that mean? You're willing to pay more? I mean, if you pay more, which fund is it going to go into?
Well, I hope it'll go into building infrastructure that will put people to work doing that. We've got a Selwood Bridge falling down. Somebody could start building that again. You know, I am so tired of the stalemate in Washington where nothing is happening and the Republicans are pretending like, I don't think they care. I think we could go down the tubes and they wouldn't care. And these people care. All of these people really care.
So is it a class struggle between, say, the Republicans are the ones who are for the wealthy and the Democrats are the ones for the everyday common guy?
Well, I don't know whether class struggle is the right thing, but I really do think that the Democrats have always stood for the little guy and the working guy. And I think the Republicans and some of the Democrats are really too much in the pockets of corporations and big business.
Both parties are.
Some of both parties. Most of the Republicans and some of the Democrats. I'm a Democrat.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
This is a national movement to protest the transfer of wealth to the top 1% of our population. I'm here personally because I've been a social worker for years and I've seen money leaving the infrastructure that used to take care of the poor and disadvantaged. I work in a college currently. The students are graduating with degrees, unable to find jobs, in thousands of dollars of debt. And I think my picket sign says it all about me. I have a master's degree. I have a job that doesn't require a college education. And I'm in thousands of dollars of debt. And I'm part of the 99%. I'm happy to be here.
It is time to get the money out. It is time to take the money out of politics. That's all I got to say is get the money out, we the people. It's we the people.
Thanks, ladies.
Our act of a Supreme Court reversed 100 years of precedent by deciding that corporations are persons and that money equals speech. We don't agree.
I agree with you.
Thanks.
What does Asa think?
Asa, what do you think, buddy? Is money free speech? Nope.
No. That's a no-brainer, I think.
Yeah, even a 5-year-old can figure that out.
So basically I asked the question of what the hell's going on here? What kind of reply do you have to that?
Well, I think that people are ready for real change, not more of the same, and real change by the people running our democracy instead of the Wall Street and corporations running it. The people own the democracy and they want to run the democracy. being expressed all across the nation.
Well, you know, we do have a vote. What is a vote? I mean, other than being a proxy for a management team, which apparently is not managing anything quite well these days, what does the vote mean? How can a vote be used to prolong, or not to prolong, but to satisfy what this whole thing is about?
I'm not sure how to answer that, really. I don't feel real witty today, but my very strong opinion is that nothing is going to change until we get big private money out of politics. That all of this is, in my opinion, an effort to get big corporate money and big private money out of politics. That nothing can possibly change until that happens, because all of the Democrats and all of the Republicans are all bought off or beholden to big money.
How about the media? What kind of role does the media play in that big money situation?
Well, I think the majority of the media is owned by big money. And thank God for the internet. I think the internet is one of our only hopes for communicating on a mass scale the voice of the people.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for spending your money in places that you're not thinking about.
Such as what?
Halliburton, Bank of America. Let's see. What else? Where else do you guys spend your money? Walmart. Oh yeah. Where?
Gas station.
Gas stations. Yeah. Thank you for supporting oil. Appreciate it. The sun's overrated. Taxes. Oh yeah. We really love you guys spending, but we need tax money. That way we can fix your roads and give you money to go to school, and you know we need that, right?
Who's the we? Who are you talking about?
I'm the 1%. You guys are the 99%, right? Is that right?
I didn't say I was 99%.
No, you're not part of the 99%?
No, I'm not.
How did you get to be the 1%?
Because I've got the microphone.
Oh, is that the microphone gives you the 1%?
That's right, right. So what gives you the 1%?
Oh, because I'm loaded. That's why. Don't you see these nice clothes? I don't look like the other 99%, right?
Well,
I mean,
it's a joke, right? It's a joke.
Me? Joking?
You're pulling the strings. On whom, though?
I'm the guy that you didn't vote into power. That I sit back and I manipulate the strings in the 99%.
So you're actually the corporation, then?
Yeah, kind of. Corporation, government official, they're all the same now, right?
They're all clowns to begin with.
Yeah, they are all clowns.
Yeah.
Wait, did I say that? Oh.
The 1% being a clown?
No, see, the 1%, they're just happy. They're happy. They go along with the herd. They do whatever they're told.
Oh, that's the 99% you're talking about.
Yeah, the 1% doesn't do that. They're the ones that manipulate the strings.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So that leadership is somewhat askew, considering that the other 99% isn't well off like they are.
Wait, he's really well off. He gets to go where he's told. He gets loaned a bunch of money, so he's in lots of debt. He gets to shop at really cheap places like Walmart. I wish I could shop at Walmart. I mean, actually, I don't, but I have to say that because I'm under sponsorship. But yeah. Yep. You guys get to drive your fancy cars, right? Yeah, you guys all have fancy cars, right? Sure. Oh, okay. She's got a fancy car.
No better word spoken by an Italian, right?
Yeah, well, I'm Italian.
You're Italian, I'm Italian. We're all Italian.
I'm not a fan of him, but I think the quote from this guy should really change to show people where we're going. And that's a really scary thing.
Well, you know, actually, in the 1920s, when Mussolini was coming about, the population was for him because he was getting rid of the patron system, which was the capitalists of that time totally taking advantage of the poor Italian farmer. And he sort of straightened that out a little bit. What do you think about that?
It's sort of like how all of the politicians say, we're going to change everything and vote for us. It's like modern day Reichstag. You know, we create a problem so we can create a solution, so we can give you a solution, and then here, vote for me. Let's start another war. That's the cycle that it goes in. It goes around and around and around.
Yeah, we do have cycles which we have not learned that cycle lesson yet. How do we break that cycle?
I'm really not sure. I just know that it's not this.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
I have really no comment. Okay, Ty.
So, what the hell's going on here? What is this all about?
We feel it's time for the people to take to the street to express our dissatisfaction with what's happening with our government and economy. We're finding that all the power is in the hands of the super wealthy, and that we have no power. They control the government. We have no voice. This is our voice.
Were we not in the streets in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s?
He recognizes you.
No, I was there myself.
Oh, you were there, but at the other end of the mic.
Oh,
yeah. I think there were protests having to do with war at times, but this is different, and we feel this is a time when we need to speak out.
Well, it's sort of
because we've been made impotent, and we need to shift that.
Is it because of that industrial military complex that we have? Because that's part of that's part of the economy.
Part of it. Right.
Yeah.
It's deregulation is a part of it.
Deregulation is a huge part of it. I mean, what happened to our watchdogs? We don't have anybody watching the chicken coop anymore. All the hens are gone.
All right. Well, you know, we're talking about our government and our representation in Washington, and I think this is explaining to Washington that we're not being represented. They're not hearing us, and they're playing games among themselves so that they can get reelected in the next election. They don't understand that people are suffering and that people are in need of help. So we're not getting the representation that we have been told.
But we do have a vote, correct? Do we not have a vote to get that representation?
It's almost meaningless because the lobbyists have a far greater vote than any of us. All of us put together don't have the power that a lobbyist in Congress exerts.
Any ideas as to how we could eliminate that? How do we get it back?
We take our economy back on a local level. We become independent from multinational corporations. We become a vital local community, and that's the answer.
But you mean then we become local community links to the big link, because we're all
Not necessarily.
We're all in the same boat.
Well, that's true, but if in every part of the world the local economy was self-sustaining and vigorous and vital, and people were satisfied and educated, what's to fight about?
Support local artisans, keep the money in the community, and you know, we have there's lots of good answers. That's the thing, is that I think the media right now just perpetuates this myth that there are no answers and this is just too complex for us. Well, there are answers, and it's not that complex. We need to start buying locally. Need to start bringing business back home. You know, buy American. Everybody can get behind that.
You know, it took less than a week to give support to Wall Street. It's taking 3 years to give any recognition for Main Street. And that's what this is. These are people from Main Street trying to get the attention of our representatives.
Yeah.
They're not listening.
Thank you. We got the Youth of America here. So I remember the masks. They're from V, correct? The movie V?
It's actually from Guy Fawkes, technically. I mean, that's who it is.
It's a caricature of Guy Fawkes' face. The guy who tried to blow up Parliament in England.
I'm not all that familiar with it. I just kind of remember.
Guy Fawkes was a man in England who tried to blow up Parliament because he believed they were corrupt and weren't serving the people. And so he attempted to destroy them with casts of dynamite, but was caught and
Well,
killed.
I kind of remember the show or the movie itself.
Yeah.
How do you think it's going to play? Is it looking to play out here? I mean,
I don't know if we're going to be storming in the halls with dynamite.
Yeah.
I think it's a tradition that it started. It started a tradition of every year on a certain day, everyone like sort of reflects on the government and a reminder that the government is inherently responsible to the people.
how about November 2nd or the second Tuesday in November? Would that be a good date? You know what happened? Well, it doesn't matter.
The point is that we're all unifying finally. It takes a while
It's a symbol,
to organize
not
this
a
sort of thing,
literal.
but
Okay, but what I'm saying is that second Tuesday is the day we vote.
We have been voting though for the past 50 years, and what is that? Where has that gone? We voted 8 years ago for Al Gore, and George Bush got elected.
He stole it.
Despite popular vote.
We voted for Al Gore, and George Bush was elected.
And it's not like we can vote to get rid of corporations. We aren't voting for any of that. So.
Well, now they're people, corporations are people. They're persons.
1866 Santa Clara v. Railroad Company, that's when it started. So.
Well, if they're people, that means they should be allowed to, they should get arrested like people who steal.
Yeah. And they're subjected to all the same laws that other members of our society
They
are
shouldn't
subjected
be
to. And that's
given
the issue.
bailouts if, they're just people.
Yeah.
If I go into massive amounts of debt, is the government going to give me $2 trillion to make
No.
sure? Yeah,
Because
that now. I have
you're just
$1 trillion that they would not even tell us where it was going.
But that's the catch. The catch is you're just one guy and $2 billion
But isn't
to
a
one guy.
corporation just one guy?
Yeah, it is.
Corporation's one person.
These are the same people who vote down social welfare systems for people who are victims of their own actions. Yet when we bail them out, it's completely different in some way. It's completely ridiculous. We've given them corporate welfare.
Are we all local people here? Salem?
We go to school in Salem.
We're all from different areas of the country going to school in Salem.
Anybody international here? Are we all Americans or?
We're all Americans, here to support our country in our own way.
Cool.
Here to support our country in the biggest way.
Yeah, it seems like the only viable way to do protest now is this.
Nothing has been happening for the past 50 years, so now something is, and we're going to make sure that keeps happening, and the change does actually happen.
So are you going to come out here every day or?
I'm going to be in Salem on Monday.
It's Occupy Salem starting Monday.
Yeah.
At the Capitol.
All right.
The west side of the Capitol on the lawn.
Support.
They can leave the tents and go to classes, then come back to the tents.
Prompted you to be here?
There was a bumper sticker about being outraged if you're aware of things going on, and there's just too many things going on where the facts are so clear that we're being brainwashed, we're being bankrupted, the country's being bankrupted, the money system's not backed by gold, the Federal Reserve's not even a federal institution. So 1984 used their double speak. A lot of this shit is double speak. I'm not supposed to swear in the air, but
Oh no, we're public access. You can say anything you like.
I think a lot of us are pretty fired up.
I don't think the Federal Reserve is a swear word.
I think, not that I think, I know a lot of us are fed up. What can we do, though? Because they have all the guns, the bombs. They certainly don't.
Well, we do have a proxy.
What is a proxy?
A vote.
Yes, voting this country is meaningless.
Meaningless?
Obama's a puppet, Clinton's a puppet, Hillary Clinton's a puppet. They're all puppets. Who's pulling their strings is the question,
Any idea?
Who owns our country? I don't know. These are good questions. I mean, as Americans, we should be asking deeper questions, especially at this time. Because we're a global community. We share the air, we share water, we share communications.
But there's like 7 billion people, and that's basically the main question is how do we manage and keep in order a society of 7 billion people? That's amazing.
I think we could self-organize. I think we're intelligent creatures enough. I mean, if you pull money out of the equation, and that kills greed right there, it kills the black market, things of that nature. I think we can self-organize. We're peaceful people deep down. We just want to be peaceful.
Yeah.
We want freedom.
Yeah. How about eliminating the biggest gambling casino going, which is the stock market, and also the commodities market, where bodies will just buy tons and tons of food and then regulate the price.
Right, it's like with oil, it gets bought, rebought, so the price goes up and up, and we're the ones who pay for it.
Yeah, it's like the middleman who can get it for your wholesale, but then he adds his surcharge.
We all know the game. It's corrupt. Time to change, or we're all going to perish. We don't want that.
Thanks. Thanks, man.
We the people, Eugene.
All right.
We the people, Eugene.
So you came all the way up from Eugene?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
cool. Yeah,
And
nice.
we're up to reversing the Citizens United Supreme Court decision that gives corporations that gives corporations the same rights as people, and since they have the right to free speech, it also means that they can spend unlimited funds of money to sway elections. And so we're finding a way, we're allying with a bunch of different, like hundreds of other organizations, grassroots organizations around the country to reverse that Supreme Court decision, even if it takes a constitutional convention.
So it's people versus money.
Money does not equal free speech. Right.
You want to give a shout out to the organizations that are all pulling together?
Well, Move to Amend is here. My friends from Move to Amend Portland, and we're allied with Move to Amend, and they have chapters all over the country now. So people, I'm really pleased with how many people know about Citizens United and are using that as a battle cry. So, thank you.
Thank you. Collective bargaining is a right?
That is true.
Are you a union person?
I'm a retiree union AFSCME person.
So you've worked for a teacher or some sort of governmental agency?
Yes, Multnomah County Library.
Librarian. How
Yes.
wonderful.
Yes, for over about 29 years.
A noble profession it is.
I was told once that I was more help than any other public employee that this person had met. And I didn't know if that was a very good compliment or not for public employees, but public employees have been made scapegoats, and they are caring, hardworking people.
Any comment on what's happening here today? Are you for it, against it? Do you like it?
I'm for it because it appears that people have to take a stand, that nothing is going to happen otherwise. And I told a friend lately, we protested the Vietnam War and now we must protest again, teach our children and our grandchildren. And my granddaughter would have come when I said she had to go to school.
Thank you.
So this is great.
So Congress is a corporatist brothel.
Yes, sir.
For whose benefit?
Well, for the benefit of the corporations, international corporations.
So they're basically in bed together doing that nasty stuff?
And the reason for that is that the campaign process, the political process, requires a great deal of money for any politician to stay in office. A lot of money. It's a money's game. And with the Citizens United decision, the infusion of cash into this process is really a flood.
Yeah.
It's becoming a flood,
Yeah, so
unmonitored.
Basically, that part of the Constitution that was started way back when, where we're just servants of us, the community, and the fledgling country, that's basically out the window.
It is out the window because it takes so much money for this system, this political system, to operate in terms of the re-election of our congressmen, our representatives, and our senators, that the people, you and I, don't have a role anymore. Our only role is once every 4 years where we think we're voting and having an impact. But every day that Congress is in session, legislation is being passed that has been written by PACs and corporations for their own benefit. And that's a fact. The downside to that, of course, is that the corporations grow ever wealthier. The richest Americans and international corporatists grow ever wealthier, and the middle class is shrinking in size, and poverty is growing to 50 million Americans. It is a travesty that is really without comparison in the last 70 years. It's worse today than at any time since the end of the Great Depression. And to stop that, of course, we have to turn legislation towards the people and understand what the people's needs, and we also have to increase taxes on the rich, because the effective tax rate on the rich today, with loopholes, is actually 17%, lower than Warren Buffett's secretary is paying.
Right.
It's a travesty. I happen to be gainfully employed. I make very good money. I don't complain about my status, but I'm telling you, 50 million Americans are slipping into poverty. That is a tragedy. That truly is. Sorry, I don't mean to give you a speech.
Throw the bums out.
Well, yeah, throw the bums out. Exactly.
Make them pay their own way.
I think we need to publicly fund elections. We need to get the corporate and power money out of the elections.
I'm for not giving them a salary at all.
Well, they do need something. I mean, they need to earn a living like anybody.
I doubt if any of those guys need to earn a living.
Well, but let's say that I wanted to become a congressman and I had no capacity to do that. I don't have the means to support myself while I'm in Congress, so they do need to earn a reasonable, comparable salary for their work, assuming they work. Yeah. There you go.
We're the Portland Occupy Portland, in support of Occupy Wall Street, which is in support of basically most of us that make up the population of America. I think you can't qualify why we're all here, because we're all here for different reasons. I think for me, I just want the money out of politics. I want the Supreme Court to reverse their decision that corporations can give unlimited funds to candidates. I want the candidates to be responsible to the people and not the special interest group. I won't achieve that here today, but you won't achieve it at all if you don't make a start.
That's correct. One step at a time, as they say?
I would say we've made several steps, I suppose, but it has to start someplace. I think we all agree on that.
So why is there such a wide cross-section of people here?
I think why is America such a wide section of people? I mean, we're from all over, just as America's from all over.
That's something you're trying to accomplish, isn't it? I mean, to show that everybody.
I think that the fact that we have Romney supporters and liberals and conservatives and all kinds here is because the way our country is running does not seem to be fair to a great many people. If there are wonderful numbers of people that were happy, they wouldn't be here today. I think that we all recognize that something about the system is broken. We may not know exactly what it is, but I think we want it fixed.
Oh, you can talk right into the camera.
All right. Would you not agree with that? I mean, is there anything about that that sounds radical or outlandish? I mean, would everyone not agree that Washington does not work for the people who pay most of the taxes and do most of the work? And I'm one of the fortunate ones. I'm marching for all these young people. I'm walking for, the poor and the weak, because, if I stand up for them, don't I make myself safer? Don't I make my country safer? Don't I make all of us stronger? No society can long advance by leaving a large segment of that society behind. It seems like that's what we're doing. And so if I can help affect a change in that, maybe I can help affect the direction of our country. We can't extend as with a collapsing middle class. So I'm marching for them.
I don't have a comeback for that. I think it's great. How are we all doing?
All right.
So what do you think of the day?
That's great. I love it.
How about yourself?
I'm trying to keep the peace for now.
Where are you from?
Kurdistan.
Do we just go It's really hard to navigate through with this new big.
It's almost impossible to navigate through this. Is this what they call a sea of people?
Probably.
Do I look like Alec Baldwin?
Yeah, you do. Quite a bit.
I think this guy's his brother. And we were
just distant relative.
A distant relative after this. But seriously, what do you think of today's function?
I think it's incredible. It's probably, I would say to date, the largest in the United States, because Portland's the best. I smell something strange.
I think it smells just wonderful.
Anyway, I'm late, so I got to get. It's nice talking to you.
Thank you.
Eat the rich.
Say again?
Eat the rich.
Eat the rich.
These corporations have never done anything for the people in this country. Corporations don't create jobs, they take jobs away. I'm a Vietnam veteran. I've seen this coming down the road for a long time. And the right wing has captured this country right now. If we don't make this work, we have no future.
Any solutions? What do you think should happen?
I'm not really sure. I lean towards democratic politics, but even the Democrats got problems. But we need to create jobs right now. President Obama has offered to create jobs. The Republicans have done nothing but fight him all the way, tooth and nail, and they refuse to create jobs in this country. The corporations and the right wing are the problem, and we need to solve the problem. Thank you.
Thank you. What does that all mean?
It means that we are the ones that need to take back our government.
And how do you propose to do that? I mean, what sort of solution do you think can happen?
Well, we are doing it right now with everything that's going on with Occupy Wall Street, Occupy Portland, and Occupy Together, the whole world. We're actually trying to take back the corruption and getting rid of all the crap that's going on right now.
But that's daunting.
It is daunting.
We've been doing it.
A revolution is very daunting.
Yeah.
It always is.
Right. Well, someone once said, let them eat cake, and you know what happened there. So how do you think we can transfer that thought or that action into what's happening today?
I think that peaceful protesting is definitely the best way to do it. I'm just excited to see what will happen. I think that this is a really important time in history, and it's really exciting to see what this will actually bring.
Are you a student?
Yeah, I am a student.
And what's your major?
I'm pre-med. I'm studying to be a naturopathic doctor.
Well, thank you very much. I'm going to need you down the line.
I think a lot of people are going to need me.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So how y'all doing? Some pretty crazy stuff, huh?
Oh, it's crazy stuff, yeah. So your opinion to all this going on today?
It's wonderful. It's a new fight starting, and it's really beautiful to see people coming together. This has been in the works since June. A lot of people don't know about that. It's been happening, putting together on the internet. And yeah, it's really cool to see this many people, especially, you know, New York City, 50 people, 100 people the first march. Welcome to Portland.
Yeah, but the catch is we've had an opportunity to see how they've done it and how many people they have, so
No,
the turnout could have been a lot less if we were the first.
Oh, it's definitely true, but Portland is a beautiful city because this kind of thing happens, and it happens this big when it does happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just this time. There, you know, back in 2003, the protests, they were huge to begin with too.
What is it that you're looking to get out of this?
What I'm looking to get out of this is, I've heard of the General Assemblies, where we've got you know, people coming together to discuss openly and make decisions by consensus. I've been going to rainbow gatherings for about 11 years, and we have been using consensus process there. And it's a new level for humanity where we can come together and we can share our ideas. And you know, a lot of people think of this as a protest. I don't think of this as a protest. I think that we're here to join in the solution, to decide how we're going to be the solution. And you know, ideas like November 5th, everybody pulling their money out of for-profit banks, putting it in credit unions. You know, mass boycotts, taking the companies that you know, pull the dirty tricks, and pulling our resources and our labor and everything that we do for them away from them, coming together and doing it for ourselves. You know, we're here to invoke change, not to ask for something to be changed.
We should all be LLCs, individual LLCs.
Yeah, right? Or you know, I mean, we can come together. We can come together in unity, in our little groups. But this whole idea of working for people, these faceless masses that above us somewhere, we don't know who they are. We might know their names, we might see them on the news, but we don't know them. Like, we can't be spending our lifeblood to make them wealthy when we can help ourselves.
Exactly. Who's this character down here?
This character's the Next Generation. This is Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan.
You want to be on TV?
Say hi to people. Say hi.
Hi.
Thanks for being out here, guys. Appreciate it.
My name's Genghis Khan. I'm a clown.
Just talk right
And basically, my father was a Vietnam War vet who was exposed to Agent Orange and had several issues with post-traumatic stress and cancer. And because of that, I was raised in a violent manner when I was growing up, so the cycle of violence passed down, and now I'm an anti-war activist. I believe that we should end all wars, not just the wars in the Middle East, but all war, because mankind needs to evolve past war, and we have not, you know, so that's what I'm here for. The only way to illustrate war is with absurdity, and that's what I try to do through my art. I'm an artist. I have a YouTube channel that actually has videos about sustainable war, because I illustrate war using absurdity, because war is an absurd thing. It's an absurd state of mind to think that killing people is going to lessen the problems in the world. Then you're just basically a murderer. And
I think
so
war is basically a jobs program.
it is a jobs program. Unfortunately, the military-industrial complex is a jobs program.
I mean, the more people you kill, the more war you're going to get.
That is actually true.
So it's the sustainability.
That's true. The sustainable war idea came to me when I thought, well, everybody is doing sustainable stuff now. They all want to be green, but war is still archaic and still kills people. And I thought, why can't we bring that to the new millennium and make it greener? So why not put seeds in bullets so that genocide can be called reforestation? Why not make a moral compass bomb that only kills bad people? You have smart bombs, why not a moral compass bomb? A bomb that actually just kills bad people. Come up with that. You'd still be a murderer, so it doesn't matter. There's just no right or wrong with war.
Hi.
How's your experience?
It's been good so far. We drove up from Grants Pass this morning.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a nice hike, as they say.
A little bit, yeah. It's important to be
all
here.
that you expected, or did you expect more?
There's a lot of people here. What do you think?
It's great. It's great. I'm glad to see so many people out.
Yep.
Hopefully it'll just keep growing.
Yeah.
Do you think a message was actually introduced out here tonight?
I hope so. It's time for some change.
I think we're getting there, and we're working on it.
Yeah. So what is the what is your motivation here?
Well, 22% unemployment in this nation is unacceptable. The current
standards of corporate personhood allow a disproportionate influence on our political system, which results in oligarchy and mercantilism. We can't really call it capitalism anymore when 4 banks control 70% of the bank accounts. When there are only, a very limited number of oil companies, that's not really capitalism. That's collaboration and collusion and what is known as oligopoly or monopoly by an oligarchy. And we need to change that. And to change that, we need to change corporate personhood, and we need to enact a wall between market and state, just as there is a separation of church and state. We need to have strong conflict of interest laws that prevent corporate monies from flowing freely to candidates and influencing them disproportionately from the voice of the people. And part of that is we need public financing for campaigns. And also we just need to recognize that a corporation is a separate legal entity from a person, and it does not have the same rights, freedoms, and entitlements that a human being has.
Why do we have to have any money going into campaigns at all?
That's a very good question.
I do not need to meet these people face to face.
Yeah.
I don't need to, shake their hands. I need them to be good managers. How do we get that?
Right. Well, one of the ways is that we just set up public financing wherein it can be a little bit like a referendum process. At different levels, from county supervisor all the way up to President of the United States. If you are able to assemble a certain number of petitions, much like you get petitions in order to get a referendum on the ballot, then you qualify for a level of campaign support. And basically, we provide equal support and funding to all candidates who manage to reach a certain threshold of popular support. This also has the effect of enabling grassroots populist candidates, rather than candidates that are selected in the back room of party caucuses. We need to go outside of the present system. I don't really think that we are truly in a two-party system anymore. I think that we are in a double-headed one-party system, wherein the Democrats and the Republicans just represent slightly different wings. They're no longer distinguishable as separate parties because they're no longer advocating for different policies. It's just one, group that's saying we should cut this much, and the other group saying no, we should cut this much. The discourse has been limited and reduced by the two-party system so much that it's no longer really a discourse between different political ideas. It is only a discourse between how extreme the policies should be, and that's not democracy. We're not living in a democracy, and we're not living in capitalism anymore. And so,
if we do get a third-party system or a four-party system,
four-party, six-party, eight-party system,
is it possible that we would ever get to a parliamentarian sort of?
I think a parliamentarian system would be very good. America is a unique country in that we are the only country that has a strong presidential model that has not succumbed to dictatorship. Though there are a lot of trends, both in the present administration and the past administration, that are pointing that we are becoming an increasingly authoritarian society. We need to have a weak executive branch and a strong legislative branch, where the legislative branch is the supreme branch between the governments. Another thing that I believe is that we can have the infrastructure and the resources to implement direct democracy. We no longer need an electoral college. I believe that this would be a useful infrastructural project if every city hall and library had secure voting booths where you could go to directly cast your vote on legislation, on referendums, and on the elections. We no longer need an electoral college. That is an outgrowth of a more primitive communications structure, which is obsolete and which is superfluous in the modern dynamic. I believe that we have the technology to achieve meaningful, direct democracy, and we should work towards the implementation of that direct democracy.
This was the protest in the Great Northwest. It's not the end, it's the beginning. See you next time. do you think of this movement? Do you think it has any legs? I don't think he speaks.